Hello and welcome to a slightly shorter mini-sode of Theatre's Hidden Helper, Autism Musicals and Me podcast. This is really just a bit of a episode for me to explain why there hasn't been an episode for last week, and why this one is slightly shorter. Because we've got something exciting coming extremely soon, which I'm really excited to tell you about. But I'm not going to tell you about it fully. I'm just going to let you know. So let's crack on. This episode's slightly shorter because I just wanted to explain, in its own episode, why there wasn't one last week. It's all to do with the fact that last week I was starting college. I was starting college on Monday the 7th, and the week before was extremely hectic for me, trying to sort out things, and by the time that I'd gotten everything sorted out fully, there was either no time to record little bits for the podcast, or there was I needed to lie down and have a bit of a rest for a bit. Which sounds a bit stupid, I know, but everyone needs their rest. Me a little bit more sometimes, which I'll probably come to in a different episode. However, we're going to keep rolling because I actually do have to talk about some things. So first of all, obviously, very stressed and overworked, getting ready for college. Now I'm at college. I'm been in there a week, roughly settled in. It's lovely. I've met so many nice people, so many amazing performers on my PA course, and it's amazing to think that I'm going to the same college that Jodie Sam Steele went to, and Max Harwood, and many other amazing people. So that's really an honour for me. But it's been fun. The first week of college, it's just not as chilled as I would have expected. Which is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I love being chilled out and relaxed. Yes, they put you through your paces in dance, which is always fun for me. I love doing that in that kind of a setting now. And I'm just really enjoying it, to be honest. My performing arts course is a level 3 national extended diploma, so it's the equivalent of 3 A levels. So I don't have to take any courses outside of it. I just take the performing arts course. I'm doing vocal enrichment because that will be my first time I've ever had a singing lesson, ever. And then I'm also doing playwriting, which is run by the National Theatre. National Theatre in London. And we are assigned a playwright, and by the end of the course we have to write a 30-minute play about something that we care about. And then they have like 300 odd schools that apply with entries, and then they narrow down the entries to 100, then 50, then 25, and then they narrow it down to 10, and those last 10 plays that are in the shortlist actually get rehearsed by the National Theatre, and directed in a rehearsal space, sort of sits probe, and then the winning play, should I say, that gets chosen by the judging panel, actually gets produced and staged at the National Theatre by the National Theatre, their 30-minute play, which is a really cool opportunity to be able to be in the running for. My one's probably going to be a bit dark, to be honest. I've already chosen my topic, sort of, but it's working out how to put it in a way that it's not been put on a stage before. For me, I don't want to fit in, as you all know. But yeah, that's 2 of my enrichments, and then other than that's my college for the week, which is really great for me because it's completely different from secondary school, and I don't have to do anything else like science or anything like that. I'm so thankful that I don't have to resit anything. I am just me. I'm just free. in a sense. You may be wondering if my voice sounds a bit odd. Do not worry, because I'm recording this in the morning. I've woken up about 20 minutes ago. I set up everything in a space that is comfy, just to have a little bit of a more chilled and less pedantic episode this week. I'm probably only going to go to 30 minutes and not have an act 2, only because there is what I wanted to say. Next week there is going to be a special episode that I've been sorting out for around a week now, trying to arrange and sort bits out for. It's going to be a very special episode because instead of having an interview at the end of the podcast, we are still going to have that, but the guest is going to be in the episode throughout, from start to finish. It's going to be, of course, fitted in Help at Autism Musicals and me, still focusing on the same key themes that we tried to highlight here. But we're also going to have one other theme that will be coming in for an episode, and if that goes well, maybe we will do another episode of that in the future. But for now, we are getting ready to sort out that episode, which is hopefully on its way next week, and it will be arriving either on the Saturday or the Sunday when we can get editing, because it depends. If we get all of the parts finished really quickly, then we can have it all edited and done, and just sitting on my desktop ready to be uploaded. And then if it takes a little bit more time, then still got the same time. But if it runs over, I will let you know, because it's it's an episode that we haven't done before, and it's as I say, we don't edit things out of the podcast, because I don't believe in putting on. If it happens, if I mess up on podcast, we're keeping it in, because it's pretty funny for me to listen back and see, oh yeah, that's the bit where he messed it up. But yeah, so I'm really excited for next week, and I hope you all can be too, even though I haven't told you much about it. But yeah, it's gonna be quite fun for me to experiment in doing something like that. I'm just trying to find my note that I wrote down, because I wanted to talk about something in this episode. I know it's very early for me. Well, not very early, because for college I have to get up at 6 to get there, and lessons start at 9. So that does sound very early to get up. However, I was one of those students that thought, I'm not going to take the easy route and go to the closest college that I can find. I'm going to find the best college that I can find, and I'm going to work at getting there. Because if you see a course, or you see a place that you want to go, and you want to find the best place that you can for you, and perhaps with the best reputation, and if you can get there, it's not if you can get there in the sense of, can you be bothered to get up? Because if it's what place that you feel so strongly about, then you should be willing to get up to go to that college. You know what I mean? So with me, it's always don't take the easiest route to get to where you want to be later on in life. If it's the harder route, if it means you have to get up early to get there, take it. If it means that you've got to work a little bit harder going there, do it, because it will be preparing you for later on in life. For example, if you end up having a Saturday job that starts really early in the morning, you can be like, oh, well, that's not that much of a change to me, because I'm already getting up quite early to go and do this. It's just preparing you for life in a sense. I mean, my college is very. I get to Fleet, and then I get on a bus to into college, and the bus is always very loud. But then Actually, here we go. Let's work this into. Let's get ready for college. So, first of all, um, well done to everyone that of everyone in year 10 and 11, especially year 11, who got their GCSE results. As I mentioned last week, always it's obviously something stressful to sit through this sort of coronavirus thing that's going on. I don't know why I say sort of coronavirus thing. It's a rather large thing, but people still see it as, oh my god, it's not that real of a thing. Um, um, you know, with college, if you're getting up early, you need to be prepared, obviously, either in the morning before you get there, or you need to prepare everything the night before, which is what I do, except from my laptop, because I always forget to pack my laptop. Don't ask why, it's something that happens to me. You know, if you do get a bus to college, and you're going with, if you like having a bit of time to yourself, not talking to anyone, bring some headphones and listen to something. I will say, my course that I'm on, we get to do 9 productions, around 9 productions in total by the end of 2 years, which is rather a lot more than some of the colleges that I've visited and had a look at, which is insane, the amount of productions that we do. But it's all experience. It's all getting you ready for if you go into performing arts later on in life, and you have hectic rehearsal schedules. Oh, sorry, I accidentally turned on a fan. You know, if it's hectic at college, it will probably be worse in the real world when you get into rehearsals and going to casting calls, etc., etc. It's all preparing you, basically. My college are doing a really good job of preparing me. Even in the first week, every myth of theatre debunked. Some of them I did know, actually, but some of the little known myths that you hear about, they debunk that straight away. However, we're now going to move on to a little bit. Sorry, I am cramming little bits in to this 30 minutes. It's just cause I don't. I'm trying to put more attention on the special episode that's coming. I know that sounds terrible, but after the special episode, there is obviously going to return to the 1 episode a week with an interview every other week. But yeah, I'm just trying to find what I wrote down. Obviously, typical me losing every single note he writes down, which is me. Obviously, it's something that I always do. I write a list and I lose the list, which is not always fun. I just wanted to. This is my as an autistic person, I write down the weirdest things, and that's helpful in musical theatre because I write down lighting cues for myself and little bits of tiny hand gestures so that I can make characters believable. Usually my thought process is everywhere. So on my phone, I'm kind of going through. Now I've got a reminder for my playwriting enrichment. I've got where I've got to on a book. Random lists that people may have, but mine are a bit weirder. Like, for some reason, I've got some coordinates on here: -6570, -387. I don't know why I've got that. I've got someone's. I've got a list of Discord things to sort out. I've got a BuzzFeed article for some reason. I've got a picture of a Batman squirt gun for no reason. For some reason, I have the Miranda rights on my phone. I've just found. If any of you don't know, I will read them out to you now in my true awkward weird style. The Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say may be... Oh, crap. Can I start over? Yeah, I'm going to start over. The Miranda rights. So this is what they say when they're arresting someone. When they're reading the rights to them that they have while they're in... I nearly said jeopardy. No, it's in custody. So they say, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say may and can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided by the state. Do you understand? Yeah, I would make a cracking police officer. Not because I would be good at the job, just because I would I would sit and laugh in the cabin about some of the things that I would go to. I don't know why. I've got answers to a quiz that I've got. When I did a series of Zoom meetings with some of my mates that I haven't seen for 2 years from a summer school that we went to, and we would do a quiz sort of thing every time we had the Zoom meeting. So I've just got random notes that say Shrek, true, Beggar's Opera, yes, Elton John, true, 13, no, stuff like that now doesn't make sense anymore because I haven't deleted them. I've got the lyrics for Sandy. I've got. See, I'm giving you an insight into my life. So I have a lot. I'll show you. Well, I can't show you. It's a podcast, but all of my music on my phone is musicals, soundtracks, and show soundtracks. I'm just gonna go to. I'm gonna count the album. I'm gonna tell you the albums that I have on my phone. I've got Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of Temptations, Aladdin, Anastasia, Annie, as in Star Kid Annie, not Annie the Sun Will Come Out. Assassins, Avenue Q, Be More Chill, Beautiful, Beetlejuice, Billy Elliot, Black Friday, Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the film soundtrack, obviously, Bonnie and Clyde, The Book of Mormon. I've got some stand-up comedy CDs on here, actually, because I love stand-up. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Come From Away, Company, Dear Evan Hansen, Everybody's Talking About Jamie, Evita film soundtrack, Falsettos, Firebringer, Fiverr, Grease 1, 2, and Grease Live. The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, Hairspray Motion Picture and Hairspray Live, Half a Sixpence, Hamilton, Hamilton Instrumentals, the Hamilton Original Presentation, things from Lynn's SoundCloud, Heathers, West End, Holy Musical Batman. I've got the Best of the Wiggles, which is an Australian band from when I was a child. Don't ask me why. How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, In the Heights, Jerry Springer the Opera, Jersey Boys Film and Broadway, Jesus Christ Superstar Live, and Juliet, Kinky Boots. You get the message. We go on through like Les Mis and Spamalot and The Prom, and a play called Puffs, which just released their soundtrack. You get, it's very hectic for me to keep track of what I've got, but I learn it through memory, and where to find things. You know, my that's my phone, and if that's my phone, just kind of imagine what my mind is going through on a daily basis. With my mind, I like to explain it to people when they ask me about it. Oh, how do you... Well, people say that autistic people, they think slightly different. People with autism think slightly different. And I like to think of it that our brains are wired a different way. In the sense that, for me, I will tell you how my brain works. Anything logical, like science or history, I can't remember it in full big chunks. But I can remember tiny little facts randomly from everything. So I remember, so if you said, oh, can you tell me something about your history GCSE, I probably couldn't tell you that, but I could tell you about the Pikes Peak Gold Rush and where and how Levi's jeans were started. They were actually started from the Gold Rush in America. He set up shop and he saw that miners, when they were mining for gold, they needed something that was not dense and quite light and airy on the skin for when they go mining. So he invented jeans and he invented denim, but they weren't sold as jeans back then. They were sold as dungaree jean things, which is really interesting. I couldn't tell you anything else. I could tell you random facts about that and Crime and Punishment and castles and stuff, but I couldn't tell you it in order. I for some reason I really struggle with that, because my brain works differently, and like people say, oh, use those total recall strategies, and I don't work like that. My way is remembering a letter. This sounds very Sherlock now. If you haven't seen Sherlock, in my opinion, it's really fascinating. Because I notice a lot of similarities between how I think and how Sherlock thinks. Not the bad sides, but the how he remembers things in his mind palace. I don't use that, but a mind palace is a real strategy for remembering things, and it is exactly how it is on the show. You remember, you think of a palace, and you have different rooms, and in each of those different rooms, you can store a couple of key words that will help you latch onto a memory or a fact that you're trying to remember. It's really complicated, but it's fascinating to listen to, honestly. I think of it like that. I think like that, and I don't know whether that is because of my autism or it's just because I'm an interesting or a not normal person. But I think I think being normal's boring, honestly. If you're like everyone else, then you're not going to be interesting. Think about it. The only people that people talk about are people that don't fit in a sense. Like normal people, right? Normal people would get up, go to work, and then come home. Or like go to school or do everyday things, right? We don't really talk about those and see people on the news like, oh my god, look at this person. He went to work this morning. But we see news stories about people who don't fit in, like pop singers and rappers, and high business CEOs and stuff like that. Because you wouldn't say that an average day for you would be getting up, doing some vocal warm-ups, heading to a stadium, singing in front of 2,000 people, and then doing the same for another week, and then moving on to another part of the country. That's not normal. Well, that's not what people perceive as normal. And we talk about those people because they aren't normal in the sense that they do things that other people don't. And they work at it and they're really good at it. So don't be afraid to stand out, because there's more of a chance that there is more of a chance that people will, I don't want to sound weird and say people will take an interest in you if you stick out. No, obviously not that way. But I find it's more interesting to not be normal and fit in a sense. I prefer to be me and not be the same as everyone else, because it's not fun for me, because I've always been trying to fit in with so many people that I've tried to fit in with, through infant school and secondary school, trying to fit in with people that actually were fun and were, in a sense, everything's based on popularity now. And if you weren't fitting in with popular people there, or if you weren't a popular people, you weren't liked as much in the schools that I went to, especially my secondary school. And it turns out the people that I really liked and actually could, in a sense, harmonise with, in the sense that I could be myself around them and talk with, were the popular people. And it didn't mean that I became a popular person. It just means that those were the people that The only in secondary school, by the way. Not in infant school. For infant school, I had no friends until I was in year 4, beginning of year 5. But that was probably partly my problem, in the sense that I found it really hard to talk to people, and I wasn't deemed as cool and nice. I was sort of deemed as odd and unfriendly and weird, which turns out in that school and when I went there, being weird is something that gets you cut off from normal life and being able to have friends, and it's really, really hard. But now that because I found performing arts, and I found so many good friends that were so different for people that didn't enjoy weren't in performing arts. Like, all of my friends currently are performing arts people, or people that like performing arts, or they've seen musicals and stuff. Because they're so much different to people that don't take it. It's insane. They're really understanding, really kind, really thoughtful, and really relaxed. And then a lot of other people are just really not. In a sense, for me, that I'm not saying that I won't be your best friend or talk to you because of that. It's just I find it easier to have fun, in a sense, with them. But yeah, anyway, we in infant school, I said I didn't, not obviously, but I didn't have any friends till I was in year 4 and year 5, and even then, it was still really hard to fit in. I had one girl who, I was in at lunch, and I told someone that I was autistic, and it went round the school like wildfire. And not as in it was terrible, but it was just a bit of a talking point, in a sense, for people. I don't know why. But one person came up to me, who they came up to me and said, no, it's okay, Ben's just sick in the head. And in fairness, in a sense, we were extremely young, and it was probably meant as some kind of harmless joke, but it hurts, even if it's like just meant as a joke. And if you don't know any other way to put it, that's fine, but it's really not fun. And I could obviously tell that it wasn't meant as a joke. It was meant as some kind of ridicule, sarcasm kind of thing. And I'm sort of debating whether to say their name, because I know they don't watch it. But I know some people that may know her do watch it. You know what? Actually, screw it. No. If you want to know at some point, I might pop it in the comments for a bit. But just don't do it. I mean, especially now, I would understand. Now, when you're a kid, I would understand it sort of. But like now at my age, at like 16 going on 17. Oh, that's funny. I am 16 going on 17. Sound of Music. Good show. But at my age now, I wouldn't deem that as acceptable from anyone, even if it was just like, oh, you're sick in the head. Haha. You know what I mean? I'm kidding, man. It's so not funny. Really not. But yes. Anyway, I've got to finish now. However, I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on a little bit, and apologise for last week. As I say, I really am sorry about that. But there is an exciting episode on the horizon for next week, with a very special throughout episode. So I hope you stick around to watch that, and follow my Instagram at Ben Caligari official. It'll be in the description of this one, so you can go and follow me, and I will notify you all of when the next episode comes out. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, which just go down into the description of this video, and you'll find the big red subscribe button. and then you can click the bell notification to get notified of all of the podcast releases and other items that I release on this channel. I'm probably going to end up putting out some really cheesy, weird videos at some point, just because that's my kind of style. If you want to, as I always say, if you would like to be interviewed on the podcast, as I say, because we interview people that aren't necessarily big names in theatre. I want to get to know the fans, obviously, because the fans are part of the lifeblood of why theatre is still around and still exists and why we love it so much. And I just want to get to know you and what you like about musical theatre, what you don't like, what you'd like to see at some point, an opinion on current sort of affairs, in a sense. So if you would like to do that, you can always message me on my Instagram, drop me a direct message at Ben Caligari Official, and say that you'd like to be in one of the episodes of the podcast being interviewed, and let me know what you want to talk about, and we can accommodate that and put that into an episode. Or you could you could email me, which the email link will be in the description, so just copy that over into an email and that'll be your subject. Just title the email something like, I'd like to be in a podcast at some point, Ben, and then, let me know what you want to talk about in the description, that in the description of the email, etc, etc. Or you can go onto my Instagram and click on the email button, which will immediately take you through to opening a new email automatically addressed to moi. But other than that, I really hope that you enjoyed this, and I'm obviously, again, so sorry about the last week fiasco. But the one thing that I do want to leave you with is that I'd like to say, again, a massive congratulations to those who've started college this week, or this week just come, because it's really odd to start a new school, especially in a pandemic when you don't know if it's going to shut down again or what's going to happen. It's really uncertain times, so I really applaud you all for sticking out with that, and hopefully not leaving college and not being stressed about that. But other than that, sadly we're going to have to close the curtains and raise the house lights on this episode, because we are finished for this episode. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you all next week for the special episode of Theatre's Hidden Helper, Autism, Musicals and Me, which is entitled... Just kidding, I won't tell you that now. But